Assalamu'alaikum, warahmatullahi, wabarakatuh. I trust everyone is well. Um, yeah, no, so today we'll just be finishing up the six articles of imaan. So we're actually on the final one at the moment. This is going to be belief in the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So belief in the taqdeer or divine decree means believing that both the law of nature and the law of religion, which is also known as Sharia, have been devised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He alone holds supreme power over these laws which are operating in the universe. So, it kind of ties in with the belief in the oneness of God, you know, because everything, like from the most minute thing to the most major, whether it be an individual, an animal, anything of that nature, just like all of that has been governed and everything has been laid out by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, basically. Like everything, all the outcomes, when it will take place, where it will take place. So I even though that's like such a big thing to wrap your head around, it makes sense at the same time, you know? And let me say over here. Okay, so taqdeer should not be confused with predestination, as is understood in the country, with understanding that whilst everything is in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone holds supreme power over these laws, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also given mankind free will. This this means that according to Islam, man is responsible for his own destiny, which although is in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not interfere unless he desires to do so. Usually, it is only in special circumstances. That's one. Okay, I'm just going to jump back in. Usually, it is only in special circumstances where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may cause exceptional changes in these laws to produce miracles for the sake of his prophets and saints. However, these exceptional changes are never contrary to his known ways, his promises, or his attributes. Okay. Okay. Hmm. I think that at the very end of my notes I had something that kind of ties in with that specific piece as well, but we're not there yet. So the second final piece is, this means that whilst everything has been determined by the divine decree, yet this does not mean that one should not strive for one's betterment or adopt means to avoid calamities. Okay, fair enough. But then, like in conclusion, it's stating that divine decree are of two types. One may one may be described as suspended and the other one as absolute. The operation of a suspended decree may be averted by the grace of God Almighty through prayers and alms given, and the operations of an absolute decree cannot be averted through prayer and alms given, although God Almighty bestows some other benefit in return for them. In some cases, God Almighty causes delay in the operation of decree as well. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to touch on. So if you think about it, suspended decree is basically a statement saying like, okay, there is a destined outcome and process and journey for that specific outcome. Like let's just take me for an example. Like I have a suspended decree that this particular thing will happen over the week. Now, yeah, like that's the outcome. However, if I give up, like what was the actual term it's saying? It may be averted by the grace of God Almighty through praise and alms given. So I'm assuming that means that although like this was the suspended decree that could potentially happen, it could be influenced, or the outcome of that could be influenced, so long as I partake in prayer, like right, like giving thanks to the Almighty, or alms giving. I'm assuming alms giving is something similar to charity, zakat. Like I'm assuming those are like the only outcomes. Both making dua and giving away charity could influence a specific event, whether it be negative or positive. It's just like I'm assuming that is suspended decree. And then absolute, it's like whether you're giving dua to the entire dunya or you're not giving dua at all, like it's just that's the absolute outcome. Like there's no changes, there's no changing nothing. So I'm assuming those are the differences. If not, then if anyone could like explain it on a deeper level, I would appreciate that. But that's basically covering the final article of iman, the belief in the decree of Allah SWT. And it was a lot of important information. I did not think that it would be this fruitful. I'm not going to lie. I really learned a lot throughout this particular piece in Islam. So I'm really excited for what comes next. I do know that I always hyped up speaking about the 5 pillars, but it doesn't seem like it will be happening anytime soon as well. So we'll just take it piece by piece. I think I'll actually get to the 5 pillars in perhaps like 2 weeks from now. Given all the topics that my course is outlining, I think it is best that I stay on the trajectory. That's a dictionary word of my course. But yeah, again, shukran for tuning in and listening and liking, whether you're subbing on YouTube or following on TikTok. I appreciate it. Shukran. And I'll keep everyone in my du'as, and I hope everyone enjoys the rest of wherever you are. Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.